Good afternoon, students, faculty, ladies and gentlemen, and staff. We are members of the Midland Valley Shipmates. We represent armed services, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, Coast Guard, and Merchant Marines. We are honored to be here today to make this presentation on how to display, respect, and honor the flag of the United States of America. As former members of the armed services, we are aware of the significance of our flag and why it should receive the respect we give to it. The people you see before you this afternoon, have the honor and courage to protect and defend our flag on many occasions, in many foreign lands, places like Okinawa, Japan, Korea, Vietnam, Beirut, the Middle East. Price of freedom has never come cheap, and our flag has only led the way. When we say the Pledge of Allegiance, we start the words with, I pledge allegiance, meaning I promise to be true to the flag and the United States of America. How can we be true to a piece of cloth, to the American flag when there's only a piece of cloth? Before we begin our presentation, does anybody know what the date is today? What's the date? December 7th, that's correct. You know what date that brings to mind in our history?
Pearl Harbor.
Exactly. That's the date the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor and brought the United States into World War II. It's a very relevant day. Many lives were lost that day. We can, because of that piece of cloth in the form of our flag, is not cloth, but the sign and symbol of our great country, the United States of America. Our flag is the third oldest national flag in the world, older than the flags of France and the Union Jack of Great Britain. It was first authorized on June 14th, 1777. And that is why we celebrate Flag Day on June 14th each year. It is a unique flag because it represents each of us, you, me, and all the millions of people who are free to enjoy the freedoms of the United States of America. In the spirit of this national spirit, as you know, doesn't come from a piece of cloth. It comes from the people, just as your school spirit comes from all of you and its students. For this country, that means all those people who have, from the very first, thought we should be a nation. All our forefathers who worked, fought, and when necessary died, so that you and I could be here this afternoon. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this is why we're here today. To let you know about this great flag and to give it the honor and respect that it deserves. The flag we look at today is not the same flag that our country started with, because we're not 13 colonies along the Atlantic coast anymore. We are 50 states across the continent and into the oceans beyond. I'm going to talk to you about how our flag became the flag you see today. The first decreed that there should be a star and a stripe for every state, and that was our 13 stars in a circle with red and white stripes. In 1794, 2 states were added, and we had a flag with 15 stars and 15 stripes. In 1818, there were 20 states, but they were still using the flag with 15 stars and 15 stripes. Our Congress thought about having 20 stripes, and it was agreed that it might be a problem. So they passed a law that said there would be 13 stripes for the original 13 states, and they would do a star for each new state that joined the Union. And that's the way it is today. The 35-star flag became the official flag of the United States on July 4th, 1863. A star was added for the admission of West Virginia and was to last for 2 years. 2 presidents served under this flag were Abraham Lincoln and Andrew Johnson. The 13 stripes, 7 red, 6 white, with a red stripe on top and bottom. A blue field with 50 stars is located next to the staff, the upper left corner. The blue field extends from the top of the lower edge of the 4th stripe, and the stars are arranged in alternating rows of 6 and 5, representing the 50 states of the United States. The stars do not represent any particular state. Colors give our flag and insignias a special meaning for our flag. Red is for valor and zeal. White is for hope and cleanliness. Blue is the color of heaven, for reverence and our loyalty. And the stars represent our constellation of states. When you look at the flag, we're looking at the most magnificent history of all Americans who have lived before us, our own ancestors, the most enduring nation of free people that ever existed. I'd like to introduce Nancy, who will discuss the flag code.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Our flag code. I said code, not law. It's a guide for all handling and display of the stars and stripes. The way our flag should be treated and honored is not a law, but a code that has been developed over the years. It is the standard. It is what is right. It is what each of us should want to know and follow. Let's go through some of these items by categories and see if we can put some of them in our heads. Basic flag customs. Display the flag from sunrise to sunset. If you display your flag after dark, a light should shine on it. Raise the flag briskly and lower the flag slowly. Briskly and lower slowly. That's a proper way to handle a flag on the pole. The flag is not flown in bad weather unless it's an all-weather flag. Fly the flag on all designated days, such as the 4th of July, Flag Day, President's Day, Mother's Day, and every day you want to say, I love my country. Fly the flag every day at all public buildings, such as the courthouse, federal buildings, post offices, and borough buildings. Fly the flag at every school when the school is in session. Fly the flag where people vote on election day. In a procession on its own, to the right, or in the center of a line of flags. And on a car, it's displayed on a staff on the right fender. I know we see a lot of flags that are in the rear window, but the official way of displaying a flag in your automobile is the right fender. We're going to have to mount a holder for it. That's what I keep saying I'm going to do. Fly the flag above any other flag, or on flag's own right side if all flags are the same height. See, it's always, always above every flag. Cross, if the flags are in a semicircle, fly the flag above the others in the center. If crossed staffs on a wall, the American flag should be to its own right and the staff above the other. If it's with other flags, none will be above or to the right of the American flag. It is hoisted first and lowered last. If on a staff from a building, the Union will be at the peak. If suspended from a rope, it shall be hoisted with the Union first out of the building. If horizontal or vertical against the wall, the Union will be uppermost and to the flag's own right, which is to your left when you're looking at it. If it's suspended over a street, the Union should be to the north on streets running east to west, and to the east on streets running north and south. So you're going to have to get out your compass and figure out how in the world that works, because I don't know from here. I know the one above us is displayed properly. The Union to the right. I can't see it. There it is. On a speaker's platform, the flag should be above and behind the speaker. Just there. When mounted on a staff in an auditorium or room, it should be on the speaker's right and on your left when you're looking at it. On special occasions, the flag may be flown at half staff. This is done by raising the flag all the way to the top of the flagpole and then bring it halfway down. There are rules for government leaders who may die, such as the length of time the flag is flown at half-staff. But it is always at half-staff on Memorial Day until noon, and then it's raised to the top of the flagpole. When a flag at half-staff is lowered at night, it is taken all the way to the top of the flagpole before bringing it down. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Pat Malloy. We'll continue with the presentation.
Good afternoon, citizens. Just saying, before I start, I have a couple of questions. How many have a right hand and know which one it is?
The other right.
That's
That's the right one. That's
excellent.
the right one.
Got you guys back here. Thank you. Yes. Remember. The people in our communities expect good citizens to show respect for the American flag because it represents our country. To properly fit in with your community or your society, you will want to show the same respect that others show. Let's first think about some examples of disrespect for the flag. It is disrespectful to fly the flag upside down, except to show an extreme emergency. This upside down flag would say, "I need help, send help." It's disrespectful to let the flag touch the ground or be dragged along the ground or to touch water. It's disrespectful to carry the flag flat and horizontal. It should always be carried aloft or free flag. You notice on the beginning of football games how the flag is across the field, it looks good on TV. That is very disrespectful. It is disrespectful to dip or lower the American flag to any person or thing. Other flags, such as the state flag, can be dipped as a mark of honor for someone or something, but never the American flag. It is disrespectful to the flag as clothing. It is all right to wear clothes made with red and white stripes and stars, but it is not all right to use the American flag to make those clothes. It is disrespectful to store the flag in a way that it can be soiled or damaged. It is okay to wash the flag. Flags with frayed edges or tears should be mended or replaced. Do not fly a bedraggled-looking flag. Repair it or replace it. You see this. It is disrespectful to put a drawing, writing, or signatures on the flag. Do not damage this flag in any way. It is disrespectful to the flag for advertising purposes of any kind, like a TV ad or something, or on a billboard sign. It is disrespectful to use the flag to carry something. It is disrespectful to put the flag on a cake, or to have it put it on a napkin. It is disrespectful to use the flag as a uniform or costume, but a sewn-on patch is okay on uniforms for certain groups, like police, firefighters, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, military and veterans groups. The rule of thumb is, the flag may be used to identify groups as Americans and to show respect and pride in being American. Now let's switch gears and talk about showing respect for the flag. These are the items to remember so that you can show the respect that our flag deserves. Many people wear flag pins to honor our troops at war today in other parts of the world. This is done respectfully by putting the pin over their heart. You'll see them on the jackets and the lapels, they're over here. Okay, I have a flag that's backwards, so I wear it on this side so that the stars are closest to my heart. If you wear a flag patch on an appropriate item, be sure the stars are closest to your heart. There are rules for wearing flag patches. You can read them on the internet, and of course you should follow them. Pay attention to this one. It'd be a test question. You're not in class right now, but we'd like to have a little bit of fun too. When the flag passes by in a parade, you should stand as straight and as tall as you can to show your pride with your body language. Face the flag and put your right hand over your heart. And remain in attention until the flag passes about 6 steps past you. If you're wearing a baseball cap or hat, take it off with your right hand and hold it over your left shoulder so that your hand is over your heart. Please note that most people don't know about placing their right hand over their heart, and now you do, and now you're the teacher. You're using your left hand. Switch it up, baby, that's it. If you're in a military uniform, Boy Scout, Girl Scout uniform, if you give the hand salute instead of putting your right hand over your heart. If you're a member of these groups and not in uniform, you can still give the hand salute. This same rule, coming to attention and placing your right hand over your heart, also applies when the flag is raised or lowered and you are in the area, and also whenever the Star-Spangled Banner is played at any occasion. If you fly the flag at your house, Be sure that it's flown in a nice place where all can see it. Be sure to take it down at dusk or shine a light on it in the dark. Finally, when a flag is no longer fit to be displayed, it should be destroyed in a dignified way, preferably by private burning. You should not just throw it out in the trash. The private burning means nothing else is burned with that flag. No paper, no wood, no trash. Just the flag itself. Remember, if you follow those items with respect, you will be adhering to the flag code of the United States of America. Try to remember this really basic idea. The flag represents the finest country in the world, your country. Be respectful to show your good citizenship. There are many flags in many lands. There are flags that are human. But there is no flag, however grand, like our own red, white, and blue. She was worn. Born and burned. She still waits proudly for our freedom. I would like to introduce Larry, who's going to read you the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good afternoon, friends and faculty. I would like to explain what you must do. Pledge allegiance to the American flag. This is also part of flag code. Remember when it was said that there would be a test? Well, now is the test. Everyone stand up. And we will recite the pledge together. First, stand as straight and as tall as you can to show pride and thought through your body language. Next, face the flag and place your right hand over your heart. Remember, if you are wearing a baseball cap, a hat, take it off with your right hand and hold it over your left shoulder so that your hand is over the heart. And any Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts that are here, you are permitted to salute. Recite the Pledge of Allegiance in a strong, proud voice. This doesn't mean that you should shout, but to use a strong voice. Try to keep pace with the words as spoken by the group. Remember, you are pledging your allegiance to the finest country on earth, your country. Please don't laugh or look around at the group or shift from one foot to the other. Be straight, be proud, be sincere. Be the finest American you can be. Shipmates, hand salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Shipmates, 2. Very good. You have passed the test. You may be seated. Now I'm going to introduce Warner. He's going to tell you about the national anthem.
Hello, everybody. I'm Warner, and you are everybody else. I'm here to give you a brief overview of the, that's the wrong one. Okay. For the national anthem. What would that be? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now I'll start again. So, what do you do when you're hearing the national anthem? Now, Just like the Pledge of Allegiance, you should stand as straight as you can and as tall, and be as proud as you can. You face the flag, or if it's not displayed, or cannot be seen, face the music that is being played, and place your right hand over your heart. If you are wearing a baseball cap or a hat, you take it off with your right hand and hold it over your left shoulder so that your hand is over your heart. Look at something like this. No. Okay, you hold that salute or position until you have sung the anthem, the national anthem, as loud as you can. The average person cannot sing the song very well because it goes up and down more than most voices. So if you cannot be good, be loud. The national anthem was written by a man named Francis Scott Key. The flag with 15 stars was flown over Fort McHenry in Baltimore, Maryland. And this was during the War of 1812 against the British. The commander flew the biggest flag he could, and it was 42 feet by 30 feet. He wanted the British to have no trouble seeing it. Francis Scott Key was on an English ship as the English Navy was bombarding Fort Henry. Attorney Francis Scott Key witnessed the 24-hour bombardment of Fort McHenry from a British troop ship that was anchored some 4 miles away. He had boarded the ship to negotiate the release of the American civilians that were imprisoned by the British and had been detained aboard as the bombardment began. He saw our flag as the night fell. Both the English and Americans continued to fire at each other throughout the night. So he knew the Americans had not surrendered. As dawn broke, he peered into the distance and wrote what he saw. His words became part of the national anthem. They start with, "Oh, say, can you see, by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars were so gallantly streaming." It did not become our official national anthem until many years later, on March 3rd, 1931. But do you have any doubt about what the song meant to Francis Scott Key? I don't think so. Now I'd like to introduce Patrick Malloy, who will read a poem.
I am the flag of the United States of America. Well, you have learned a lot about the American flag today, but I have a feeling you do not know what our flag has been through for the last 240 years. I want you to look at the flag, not at me. It's going to speak to you. I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in the halls of justice. I fly majestically over institutions of learning. I stand guard with power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am arrogant. I am proud. When I am flown on my fellow banners, my head is a little higher. My colors are a little truer. I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am worshipped. I am saluted. I am loved. I am revered. I am respected. I am feared. I have fought in every battle of every war for more than 200 years. I was flown in Valley Forge, Gettysburg, Shiloh, and Appomattox. I was there at San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, in the Argonne Forest, Anzio, Rome, and the beaches of Normandy, Guam, Okinawa, Korea, Quezon, Saigon, Vietnam, Grenada, Desert Storm, Iraq, and Afghanistan. I was there. I led my troops. I was dirty, battle-worn attire. But my soldiers cheered me. I am proud. I have been burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of countries that I have helped set free. It does not hurt, for I am invincible. I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped the bonds of earth and stood watch over the uncharted frontiers of space from my vantage point on the moon. But my finest hours are yet to come, when I am torn and used as bandages for my wounded comrades on the battlefield, when I am flown at half-mast to honor my soldiers who lie with the trembling arms. Our grieving parent at the grave of their fallen son or daughter. I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Long may I wave. Dear God in heaven, long may I wave. Now some of our shipmates are going to show you how to properly fold the American flag. I would ask that the three students that you picked to come up.
Albert, Cyrus, and Cody, we need your help. Come on. Albert, Cyrus, and Cody.
How many of you have ever seen the folding of the American flag? Did you ever notice how many folds there were? Anybody take a guess?
Anybody knows? How many? Any guesses?
There's one over here.
What's that? How many? No?
Take a wild guess.
Yes.
13. There you go.
Somebody guessed it, all
He
right.
gets an A for today's class.
All right, you do ask. Good job, bud.
Good job. I keep getting anxious. I don't want it to hit the floor.
Don't worry, I got a whole, how many flags? This is the flag.
See, I'm down. I keep waiting.
Particular attention is given to the folding of the flag 13 times. You probably thought it was a symbolization of the original 13 colonies, that we learned something new every day. The first fold of our flag is the symbol of life. The second fold is a symbol of our belief in eternal life. The third fold is made in honor and remembrance of veterans departing our ranks who gave a portion of their lives in defense of our country to attain peace throughout the world. The fourth fold represents our weaker nature, for as American citizens trusting in God, It is to him we turn in times of peace as well as in times of war for divine guidance. The fifth fold is a tribute to our country. For in those words of Stephen Decatur, our country in dealing with other countries, may she always be right, but still is our country, right or wrong. The sixfold is where our heart lies. It is with our heart that we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The sevenfold is a tribute to our armed forces, for it is through the armed forces that we protect our country and our flag against all our enemies, whether they are within or outside the boundaries of our republic. The eightfold is a tribute to the one who enters the valley of the shadow of death, that we may see the light of day. The ninthfold is a tribute to womanhood and mothers, for it has been through their faith, loyalty, and devotion that the character of men and women who have made our country this great nation has been molded. The tenthfold is a tribute to the Father, for he too has given his sons and daughters for the defense of our country since they were born. The 11th fold represents the lower portion of the seal of the King of David and King Solomon, and glorifies in the Hebrew eyes the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The 12th fold represents an emblem of eternity and glorifies in the Christian's eyes God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The 13th fold, or when the flag is completely folded and tucked in, takes the appearance of a cocked hat. Appearance of a cocked, ever reminding us of the soldiers who served under George Washington and the sailors and Marines who served under Captain John Paul Jones, who were fallen by their comrades and shipmates in the armed forces of the United States, preserving for us the rights, privileges, and freedoms we enjoy today. Now we're going to have the three students who have been selected. I'll be given charge of the flag and demonstrate what they've learned. I'm going to hold the flag tight. Person folding the flag should take care of keeping the folds tight. Person who is called the table keeps the flag from falling to the ground. Person holding the flag, representing the pole of the staff, does not move.
Put those together. Okay, pull it tight. Okay, that flag does not fall. Straight out, straight out. Straight. Gotta press the flag. You're gonna come out. Good. Right hand. Good toe. No, that's
They have to make it a special folder.
Now we're gonna make a little bit of a fold here, make a pocket. Take this corner, back it in, and let's go to that and shove it in that hole. Get all the way up into the other corner. Right down in front of it. Up against it, take it, that's all I want to do, it's you. Yeah, press it all out. Right. Hold over your head like a sailor. Very good. Very quick down. Get your arm across the flag. Excellent.
Boys and girls, faculty, staff, we hope you enjoyed the presentation of our nation's flag. More importantly, have you learned anything you did not know before you came here today? If you did, please remember it and pass it along to your parents, family, and friends. Right now, you probably know more about our great flag than the majority of people in this country. We hope you feel proud as we do to see our grand old flag. Will you feel as proud as we do when you see Old Glory? Will you remember all the brave men and women who fought and died to defend our flag and country? Remember, some of these people may be your own relatives, father, mother, brother, sister, grandfathers, or grandmothers. Also remember, when you attend a parade and the flag is within 6 feet of approaching you, please stand as straight and as tall as you can. Salute the flag until it's 6 feet past you, and remember those around you to do the same. At this time, I'm going to have the speakers introduce themselves, give you a little story. I'm sorry, any questions or they have for us?
Anybody got any questions? I can't believe you know everything.
Normally they like to ask questions about you. Maybe after you tell us about yourself, they like to ask those questions.
We're flexible.
At this time, I'm going to have the speakers introduce themselves, give a little history of their military experience. Some served in World War II. Well, unfortunately, we lost our World War II vet. Korea, Vietnam, both in war and peace. We'll start with Patrick.
First, I'd like to apologize for breaking down in my readings. That happens to me every time. My name is Patrick J. Malloy. I'm from the South Hills area of Allegheny County. I first joined the Navy Reserves on the 28th of April 1970 at the Navy Marine Corps Reserve Center in Keysport, Pennsylvania. My active duty started the 17th of May 1971, and I served until the 16th of May 1979. I'm a trained hospital corpsman with the rank of hospital corpsman second class when I left active duty. I trained as a radiologic technologist at the National Naval Medical Center of Bethesda, Maryland, which is known by another name which I cannot say, as it has to do with the Army. Boot camp and hospital corps school of training were at Great Lakes Naval Training Center. I was chosen to assist a family on an island called No Man's Land Island off of Martha's Vineyard to look for past graves of family members. It was used as a strafing run for the Navy and other services, which was a very interesting thing because we had to watch out and the ordnance was still alive, and that's why this tender third-class hospital corpsman was there to treat anybody that may have gotten hurt. God help. This was accomplished by flying a helicopter to the island, which is located off of Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. My duty was to provide first aid in case anyone got hurt. I was able to walk on an aircraft carrier while in Philadelphia during the 76th celebration of the 200th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. I was assigned as a senior watchstander position to lead communications with the external first aid providers at the Naval Air Station, Willowbrook, Pennsylvania. This is designated the East Coast side of the celebration. As a reservist, I was chosen to serve at the U.S. Capitol at the Office of Attendant Physicians as a radiologic technologist during the transition of power from President Reagan to President Bush. I was able to watch Mr. Reagan and Mr. Bush walk down the steps before Mr. Bush took the oath of office as president. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Nancy Horvath. I'm from Menneson, and I did not have such an illustrious career as Patrick did, but I just thought of something on the way here, something I never talked about, but one of the funnest things I've ever done in the Navy, I went to boot camp in January of '54. January in Bainbridge, Maryland was a nightmare, just awful, awful weather. I must have been out of my mind to enlist at that time, but the rain, the snow, the wind, the cold, it was miserable. But I made it through boot camp, and we had a choice of going to different schools, and I decided to try out for air traffic control. Well, the first stop for that was a school, preschool in Jacksonville, Florida. And that was my first flight. Number one, I had never flown before. Number two, I was in an orange grove and picked an orange off the tree and ate it right then and there. It was the most exciting thing I think I'd ever done. Ate oranges all my life, but never actually picked one. And to me, that started off my naval career with a bang, because that was just, and the ocean, oh my goodness, how could I forget the ocean? First time I had seen the ocean, I was in total awe. And I bet half you kids have been there and back 50 times. At your young age, I never had seen it. I was just enthralled with everything. And I trained as a control tower operator. I wasn't really good at it because I was way too hysterical, way too hysterical. During mock-ups where you had to be in an aircraft, you pretended you were on the ground and there were aircraft all around, and you had to give them landing instructions, and they would just call in with all sorts of things. And the last one was, this is SNV 107, fire in the cockpit, and I just went, ah! and I didn't do anything. The instructor came in and just ripped me up one side and down the other about how I destroyed this aircraft and I caused these poor pilots to die because I couldn't handle my job. Anyway, I ended up working in aerography, which is weather. And that, I enjoyed doing that. I never was aboard ship because at that time, they didn't allow females on shipboard. The closest I came was going just on board, just deliver the weather. That was the extent of it. But I thoroughly enjoyed the time that I was in the service, and I'd highly recommend it. The only difference now I see, I can't tell the boys from the girls because they switched uniforms, and the waves, as we were once called, no longer exist. They're all sailors. They wear the Dixie Cup hats. They wear the long pants. They don't wear, oh, it's just so different, so different. You can't tell who they are. They're gonna have to wear name tags. I'm a girl, I'm a boy, because you can't tell by the uniforms, everybody looks alike. I miss that. I miss seeing the Waves uniforms. And I'd wear mine and show you if I could get into it. But after 60 years and probably 50 pounds, no good. Yeah, no more. I can't even get my arm in the sleeve. But anyway, I enjoyed the military, and if any of you ever have an inkling to go in, don't hesitate. I have 2 grandsons who were in the Air National Guard. I have a granddaughter who's the lieutenant in the Army. So it does run in the family, I guess, but it's a wonderful life. It's a wonderful experience. You'll never regret it. As none of us have ever regretted one day of being in the military, I know. Thank you for your attention.
Hello, my name is Warner Hager. I joined the Navy in 1965, and my first tour of duty, I spent 9 months on an aircraft carrier. Her name was the USS Ross. Probably the most important thing that was done during that time frame, in 9 months, is that we were the primary recovery ship for Gemini 9, the space capital. And as a matter of fact, you could actually, it was the first time that from the ship you could see the capsule splash down. After that, I went to my Class A school, which was cryptographic in nature, and was then stationed in Japan in a base called Kamaseo. And that was a 2-year duty, during which time the USS Brandon was captured, and the AC-121 was shot down. Some of my actual shipmates were on there. And since we were a big part of that process of recovery, the USS Pueblo, the base was awarded the Navy Unit Commendation Ribbon. Two important things I think that I also did outside of the service when I was in Japan is that I did climb Mount Fuji twice. They usually say every person climbs it once and only a fool climbs it twice. So I was a fool, but I did that because the first time I didn't actually get to see the crater. And that's about the most I can say about my 4 years as a tour of duty. So thank you.
My name is Mark Massey. I'm from Menneson also. Nancy said she went to boot camp in the winter in Bainbridge. I was lucky. In the 60s, they had a choice. I had a choice. I could either go to the cold, frozen Great Lakes or the sunny San Diego, California. So I picked San Diego. And as I was out there going through boot camp, I had the privilege of seeing John F. Kennedy when he came out there, he made a swing out there for speeches and that. And all 6 months before that, I seen him in Menneson, so I got to see him twice. And I was on a tin can, which they don't call them tin cans no more because they're not, they're more heavily, the material they make them out of, the steel is a lot thicker. And then the reason they call them a tin can is because if you ever got a tin can, you squeeze it, that's what those ships look like. They were, and we tied up with Warner as far as the carrier. We were out there to protect the carrier. If we seen the torpedo going for the carrier, we were supposed to intercept the torpedo and take the hit. But, and plane guard, we were either stationed behind the carrier or in front of the carrier, and they were taking off and landing. If a pilot went in the water, we had to go pick him up. Also, I was on 3 ships. I went to pick my ship up in Charleston, and he wasn't there, so they put me on a repair ship, a destroyer tender. You brought you needed major repairs, they would fix them. And I spent a month and a half on there, and I got transferred to the USS James C. Owens, which is this ship over here. This ship over here. On December 24th of 1963. I was on there for 2.5 years, and I got transferred to the USS Turner, this ship here. I spent 10 months on it, and I got out of service. I was happy on the Owens, not too happy on the Turner. But they were both tin cans, and through 3 Mediterranean cruises, I even had an audience with the Pope, which he became a saint after. So and this is, the ship in the middle here is how after 30 days, we start running out of food. That was our grocery store. That's how we got our supplies. They'd either highline them or with a helicopter, and they would give us our supplies for another month. Thank you. My name is Darrell Molinari. I live in Charlevoix, Pennsylvania. I enlisted in the Navy in October of 1968. I was sent to Great Lakes for boot camp, and whoever thought going to boot camp, Great Lakes in February, March, and April, let me tell you, it's cold. It's very cold. I later got assigned to the USS Leary DD-879, which was off the coast of Vietnam. I am a combat veteran. I actually served in combat. I've been to many, many places while I was in the Navy. I've been to the Philippines, naturally Vietnam, Japan, Hong Kong. Coming back, Hawaii, San Diego, Acapulco, Panama. We went through the Panama Canal. I crossed the international date line twice. I made three cruises, 1 Vietnam cruise, 2 Mediterranean cruises. Mediterranean, I've been to Portugal, Spain, France, Italy, Greece, Turkey. Just to give you a little funny story. Once on board the Leary, I was a deckhand. Once we got back to the United States, I had a chance to take over the ship's post office, which I became a postal clerk. And that's what I did my entire career. I spent my entire naval career aboard the USS Leary. But we were in San Remo, Italy, and I had to drive from Italy through Monaco to France, to Nice, France, to pick up the mail. This was 1970. France and Algiers were at war with each other. I'm on the tarmac at the airport in Nice, France, and I have a machine gun fire going off. And I'm thinking, I made it back from Vietnam, I'm gonna get killed on the French Riviera, which I thought was ironic. Unfortunately, the machine gun fire was far enough away that it didn't affect us. But it was a great experience. I experienced a lot. While in Italy, I got the chance to take leave and visit some of my family that is still in Italy. Navy's a wonderful place. It's all that you can make it. Thank you very much.
I think they can use our appreciation one more time with a big round of applause.
As we prepare to close our presentation, we will retire the flag. Anytime you're in an area where the flag is being raised or retired, this is what you should do. You should please rise and stand as straight and as tall as you can. Place your right hand over your heart and hold that position until the flag is lowered, removed, and folded. Shipmates, attention and salute. Two. Again, please,